Hi, this is Pete with Aerobeez. This is your first look at the 87-inch 50cc Slick540. There has been a lot of excitement surrounding this particular Slick540 on Facebook and on all the social medias. This is the new color scheme, and this is very unique only to Aerobeez. You won't find this color scheme in this Slick540 anywhere on the market except for at Aerobeez. This Slick540 will actually come in two colors. This is the black version. There will be a red version as well, and we are also releasing the 30cc Slick540 in two different color variations. I'm extremely excited about actually getting hands-on in here and showing you this Slick540 and what's entitled to this entire ARF kit available from Aerobeez. So let's jump in and just start talking a little bit about everything that has to do with a Slick540 and what this airplane is all about. First of all, Slick540s have been around for quite some time and has to be one of my favorite airframes to fly on the market. They just actually handle everything that you want to throw at it, from 3D to sport aerobatic flying to IMAC to just basic sport flying. This again is in your 50cc category, and we will be outfitting this with a DLE55RA. There are quite a few areas that we need to cover about this Slick540, and I know you're very excited, as I am very excited as well. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and start talking about it. First of all, the wingspan, as I said, is 87 inches. So this is in your giant scale category, giant scale gasoline airplane category. There are a lot of areas with the Slick540 that we need to cover, so let's go ahead and just jump right into this. I know a lot of people like to convert these big gasoline airplanes into electric, so that is a personal preference if you choose to. We are going to actually use a DLE55RA for our Slick540. This Slick540 will actually have a flying weight of anywhere between 12 to about 15 pounds, depending on how and what your outfit is with your electronics and your engine choice. I've seen them come in as light as 12 pounds, and I've seen them around 15 pounds. Either way, for an 87-inch giant scale gasoline airplane, that is extremely light, so it gives you an extremely powerful performance with the power plant of your choice. Talking about power plants here, we chose to use a DLE55RA. You can definitely choose any kind of motor on the market that you would like. You can use a DA50, a DA50R, you can use BME motors, you can use a larger motor if you choose to, but we try to keep it very well balanced and light, and the DLE55RA is just a real powerhouse of an engine, and that is our choice here. And talking about that quickly, the motor box here on the Slick here, the template is actually pre-marked already for a DLE55. If you choose to use any other type of a motor, such as a DLE55RA or a DA motor, a DA50R or something like that, you can go to the websites and download the actual template for the standoff, so you can actually tape it here and then use that for your drill holes and your drill pattern for what your particular motor is. So that's pretty cool here that this is already marked for a DLE55. For being how large this airplane is, so you can have a visual idea here, this is the fuselage without the cowling on, and if we stand it straight up here, it's just about as tall as I am. And this fuselage itself, with the fuel tank already plumbed and already mounted inside here, which I can show you here. Take the canopy off. You can see the fuel tank is already mounted on here, and it's already pre-plumbed already, so you can actually just run your fuel lines. And with everything already inside, as far as the tank is concerned, the fuselage only comes in at just over 3 pounds, which is extremely light, and it's built extremely strong. Let's talk about the covering. The covering on the Slick really stands out. This is unique, once again, exclusive to Aerobeez, and you can see the covering is just beautiful. All of this is pre-covered already. It comes out of the box pretty much completely covered, and I don't see many wrinkles on this at all, or hardly any at all. So this is a really nice looking covering. I think it's going to stand out really well in the air. A silver, black, red, and white, always a really good color combination, especially in the air. They stand out very well. This is the top side. I'll show you the bottom of the wing, And you can see the bottom is pretty classic as far as your checkerboard, what we call like a checkerboard pattern. So you can actually differentiate the bottom to the top very easily here. And since we're talking about the wing, we will talk about reducing build time, which is something that we all really look for in a build. Granted, this is a big 50cc size airplane, but we've done everything that we can to minimize your actual build time. And what I mean is by this airplane, when you get it, comes out of the box with the control surface, with the ailerons and the elevators. The hinges are pre-glued already. This is completely pre-gapped already, and you don't have to glue any of these hinges. And that takes away from a big portion of your actual build time. Gluing hinges are very tedious, and if you don't do it right, sometimes you make mistakes and they get stuck, and then the gap is not correct. But you know what? You don't have to deal with any of that. This is completely pre-hinged, pre-glued for you out of the box. On the main wings and on the elevators here, as you can see, this is the elevator, and the elevator's pre-hinged and glued already and pre-gapped already. And it's your choice if you actually later on like to seal the actual gap here. A lot of the 3D flyers and precision flyers, we seal the gap here with what's called 3M Blenderm tape. But you can use Blenderm, you can use just regular clear Scotch tape or something like that. That works too. That's just a little tip there. That's up to you if you want to do, if you actually want to seal that. The rudder will be your only control surface that you will need to glue onto the vertical stabilizer once you're complete with the build here. But the hinges are already in place for you, so you will be using epoxy and gluing this to that control surface, to the vertical stabilizer. But this is the only control surface that you will be needing to actually glue. Now let's go ahead and talk about what's really fun and what's included here. Now we include the Slick with what's really popular right now, and they are called side force generators. These are wood built up side force generators, pre-covered already, and this is to aid your slow flight, your knife edge flight. It's very popular out there for a lot of the slower maneuvers and some of the more extreme 3D maneuvers on that we are all doing right now. And everybody seems to love side force generators, so we've actually gone ahead and included a set of side force generators. So this is optional if you choose to actually mount it on your airplane or not. We are definitely going to mount it on the Slick. It's going to add to the look and it's going to add to the performance, so we are definitely going to mount those when we get to the flight there. Let's go ahead and talk about the main landing gear. The main landing gear has been beefed up quite a bit. This is full carbon fiber and is very stiff, very rigid, and just a beautiful carbon fiber weave there. And the actual size of it remains the same. We didn't do much as far as changing the gear, but it's basically been beefed up quite a bit. So this is a really nice addition here with this carbon fiber landing gear. And what's really cool about the wheel pants now as well, the wheel pants are fully fiberglass. The wheel pants now are fully fiberglass, and what's really cool is that the mounting holes here, when you mount it to your landing gear here, the holes are pre-drilled inside the landing gear, and they're pre-drilled for you on the wheel pan itself. And the blind nuts are actually already installed inside of the wheel pan. So full fiberglass wheel pan, blind nuts installed, no messing around with the drill or anything like that. You can go ahead and just mount it straight to your landing gear here with the screws, and then actually when you get the wheel mounted in there as well. So these are fiberglass, and that's really nice. Full fiberglass wheel pants. Now let's move on to the cowling. The cowling is probably one of the most key things when you look at an airplane, and it really stands out. This cowling is gorgeous. It almost to me looks like automotive grade paint, but all of this is pre-taped off and all pre-painted already right out of the box, and your mounting retaining ring inside is already pre-glued for you to go ahead and mount onto the fuselage with 4 bolts. So this is a good looking full fiberglass cowling here. Now let's go ahead and jump into your hardware package. This bag right here contains all of your push rods, all of your Your wheels, your tail landing gear, which is carbon, and your control surface horns are all in this box, in this bag here. This is what we call an ARF that is complete to build out of the box. A lot of the airplanes, when we are building, before we have to go out and hunt down and buy our own control horns, clevises, wheels, all of that stuff, and everything now is included in one bag, and you don't need to run to your hobby shop or anything. Everything's in here. What else is in here is, if you choose to use aluminum control arms on your servos, which we will talk about in a little bit here, that would be great. But included in here are fiberglass. I don't know if the camera can pick it up here, but included in here are fiberglass arm extensions, and they are extremely long, and you actually mount that directly to your servo horns of your choice, your stock servo horns of your choice, when you get it from inside your servo boxes of whatever company servos you guys choose to use. And then let's talk about the wing tube. Wing tube, wing spar, completely carbon fiber on the main wing, and then your tail section, your horizontal wing tube, your horizontal stabilizer tube is in here as well, and it is also full carbon. So that bag contains that. And that's where we jump into a couple of the really cool things that I like about giant scale airplanes in general, and especially about this particular giant scale. The main wings are all bolted on, of course, otherwise we won't be able to transport. The cool thing is, a lot of the 50cc's on the market, the tail section, you're actually going to end up gluing it on there. The Aerobeez Slick540, you don't have to. This is actually screwed down with 2 screws per side, and then a carbon spar that goes right through the middle. And the benefit of that is, if you are transporting to go to a fun fly or something like that, you can take these surfaces off and keep it away from damage. It's a lot easier to transport a flat, full fuselage without the horizontal stabilizer on the airplane. And then the next benefit, of course, is if you do damage it, 2 screws and you pop the linkage, and then your whole tail section comes right off, and you can actually order the spare parts and then pop it right back on without actually having to unglue any part of the airplane. So that is a big bonus right there, and I really like that part. Included also is your decals package, and the decals are actually engineered or designed around the way that the airplane graphics look. So this will really accent the red and black on the airplane if you choose to actually put these decals on, apply these decals. I definitely will be. And of course, if you choose to, there are a lot of graphics companies on the market that you can actually get a complete graphics package. I think this airplane, this Slick, would look really nice with a graphics package if you guys choose to, go out there and explore some of the vinyl graphics. Let's talk about the spinner really quick here. The spinner's not included, but I just want to give a tip here. The actual opening in the front, it calls for a 4-inch spinner. So this is a 4-inch Aerobeez carbon fiber spinner, and I'm going to show it over here. There we go. And this fits pretty good for 4-inch spinner. We're of course going to sit off just a tad here, and I think you could probably get away with a 3.75-inch spinner if you choose to, but this Aerobeez carbon fiber spinner, I think it just accents the overall look of the airplane extremely well. It ties together all the carbon fiber with the main landing gears and then with the tail landing gear. But of course you can choose to use a white spinner, whatever color spinner you choose to use on the airplane, but this carbon one keeps it light, and also something that we really like, when we look at airplanes and all kinds of stuff, is carbon fiber seems to catch people's eyes, and there's a certain bling factor, I guess you can say, to carbon fiber. So that's the one we're going to use there. I'm going to take the canopy off. The canopy is fully painted already, so that's ready to go. I wanted to go ahead and move the main wing a little bit because I wanted to talk to you about the structure here. The internal structure of this airplane is all laser cut. The wood is all cut, pre-glued already, and there has been concern in general with ARF airplanes, if there are enough glue used to actually hold down the main portions of the interior structure of the fuselage and or the main wing. So this is the interior here. I want to quickly show you that there are ample amounts of glue used in all of the joint areas. So that's going to strengthen this a lot. And I know that was one of the concerns I hear a lot about with people buying ARF airplanes. So we've taken that worry pretty much out of the aspect here, because all of these joints here pre-glued, and there are ample amount of glue used. And you can see that the interior of this is laid out really nicely for you to basically mount your electronics of your choice, and then fuel tank of your choice if you choose not to use the stock fuel tank. But the stock one I've been using in all my planes so far, and they work out really well. Velcro straps already in place, your sleeve for your wing tube already in place, everything's ready to go. This is really cool, and as in the area that it really doesn't take that long for you to be able to build this airplane and get it out to the flying field. I think this is going to look really nice. I already know it's going to look really nice once it's all completely put together. And you know, this color scheme, it just really stands out, and it really looks sharp. The motor box area has completely been restructured and strengthened as well. If you can see with this right here, the inside of the motor box, we are using all triangular braces on all the areas to add strength to the motor box. That is something that usually we would do on our own anyway once we get the airplane home. I always used to add all the triangular areas there, and that'll just strengthen the entire integral structure of the motor box. But that's all done for you now, and it's double ply in here, so this motor box is extremely strong. Let's talk about electronics. Of course, you can choose all of the general electronics on the market, from high-tech to JR to Futaba, all those different types of servos and all the extensions that you personally would like to choose from. We are going to outfit this entire Slick with XQ servos. These are the XQ power servos, and these are the 4120Ds, the digitals, and these are the high voltage ones. So we're going to be running this directly on a 7.4 volt 2S LiPo. So these are the servos we're going to use throughout the build for this Slick. These servos have been extremely powerful. I've been using them in all the other airplanes, and they've been very strong, very reliable. They center very well, so that's extremely important. And we will be using all of the Miracle hardware. These are the 1.75 aluminum Miracle arms that are going to go on to the XQ power servos. And just a tip here, if you do choose to get XQ power servos, the spline for the servo arm is actually spline for Futaba. So if you have arms that are high-tech JR, they will not fit on this, so they have to be Futaba spline. So that's just a little quick tip there. And then we will be using the Miracle switches with the fuel dot. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use individual switches or a fuel dot on one side, but we will be using the Miracle switches on here and the fuel dot as well. And as far as all the extensions, we're going to use all the Miracle extensions from Aerobeez as well. I am extremely impressed with the actual fitment of the parts in this entire Slick. The canopy here, I don't have the canopy bolts on there right now, but the canopy actually uses thumb screws. You can choose to use these thumb screws. They've been actually working perfectly great. But I don't have the thumb screws on it right now, and you can see that the canopy actually lines up extremely flush. The lines are nice and clean here and lines up extremely flush, and the fitment is just excellent. And I'll go ahead and pop the cowl on here real quick. I'll show you. And the cowling is just basically 4 screws, and it's holding this entire cowl down to the main fuselage. And that, you can see the paint lines, everything lines up perfectly here. Wow, this is just a beautiful Slick. Again, Slicks have been one of my all-time favorites of all-time airplanes to fly. And this is something that I love to do. This is something that's personal to me. I love to 3D fly and actually push the edge of the envelope. And I'm excited to actually bring this video to you and get my hands in there and actually start the build. I am very excited to actually get the build going and to get this to the flying field. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and post it in the comment box below. And you will also find the links to all of our social networks where you can actually keep up with the progress of what's going on with Aerobeez and with this build as well. I'll be popping up pictures periodically with the build process, and we love interacting with you, so go ahead and click on all the links below and like us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, and we are on Instagram as well. My name is Pete, and I can't wait to get the flying for you, so we'll see you next time.